Our first ever U.S. Open Sunday start was one for the record books. From Alex Eala's insane comeback win to Janice Tjen making Indonesian tennis history and Daniil Medvedev's controversial yet cinematic opening round loss. What's good? I'm Christian Bassnight and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you haven't yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post my day 2 recap. If you're new here and wondering why I'm dressed like this, I made it a statement and a point to always dress to match the vibes of the day or the matches. And I'm dressing crazy because day 1 was truly crazy. And I was going to start by talking about Alex Eala's incredible comeback win, but now I gotta highlight this insane, crazy match. I think this would definitely go down as one of the wildest matches I've ever witnessed. Benjamin Bonzi defeated Daniil Medvedev 6-3, 7-5, 6-7, love 6, 6-4 to reach the U.S. Open second round. Bonzi already beat Medvedev in the Wimbledon first round this year, months prior, and he was on the cusp of handing the 13th seed his 4th straight slam defeat. He had a match point at 5-4 in the third set when all hell broke loose. Bonzi missed his first serve, and then a photographer entered the court on accident, and umpire Greg Allensworth awarded Bonzi a first serve, and I think that was the right decision ultimately because it kind of was a disturbance of play. But Medvedev was not happy about that decision, and he caused an absolute scene. He said kind of close to the camera, he wants to go home, guys. He doesn't want to be here. He gets paid by the match, not by the hour. Then he repeated 3 times, "What did Riley Opelka say?" And that was in reference to Opelka calling Allensworth the worst ref on the ATP Tour back in February at the Dallas Open after a whole dispute. And Allensworth, he has been involved in a few controversial moments recently throughout the past few years, and I truly feel like he's just a drama magnet. Wherever there's chaos, Greg Allensworth is in the chair. Now, these scenes were unbelievable. We had a 6.5-minute delay of play because Bonzi, he refused to play because the crowd was just so loud with their booing. The Frenchman was understandably rattled, and the crowd cheered loudly even when he missed first serves. Bonzi, he fumbled match point, lost his serve, and the set in a tiebreaker, and the crowd was fully on Medi's side at this point. Armstrong was lit. Medvedev gave heart hands to the crowd, and I think that was really a kind of cool contrast from the 2019 US Open where the Armstrong crowd booed him. Bonzi got bageled in that 4th set, and then he got broken to start off the 5th set, and at this point I thought he was done for. But he broke back immediately, and the crowd got behind him, and which was crazy because they went from booing him for 6.5 minutes to cheering for him. But I guess they wanted to see more tennis. Just the New York crowd is something else. Medvedev broke again for a 3-2 lead, but Bonzi broke back for 3-all, and the pattern looked like it was going to continue at 3-all when Medvedev had 40 love on Bonzi's serve, 5 break points total in this game, but he ultimately fumbled it, and I think this is really when he lost the match. Daniil started cramping at 4-5 when he served to stay in the match, and he had a game point in this game, but he fumbled it and ultimately lost the match. And the scenes continued after the match as Medvedev stayed on court for about 3 minutes or so, smashed pretty much all of his rackets, and then he left. He didn't leave the court until Bonzi was kind of midway through his on-court interview, or just getting ready to start it at least. And really just absolutely no words to describe whatever this match was, like absolute cinema. I want to have a moment of silence for the cameraman who really started all this drama. He created one of the most iconic moments in tennis history, at least US Open history. And I really feel for him because Ben Rothenberg reported that the USTA escorted him off the premises and they took away his credentials. I guess from an optics standpoint, that might have been the right move considering how he kind of caused all this chaos. I just hope that he has an opportunity to get credentialed again, at least for next year's US Open. Honestly, I'm glad that Bonzi won this match because Medvedev, while I like the guy, he acted a complete fool out there. And I feel like Daniil, he's done wild stuff before, and he's one of those guys that kind of gets away with murder. He can do a lot of stuff, and people still laugh off his antics. And Daniil was making a scene before this whole cameraman incident happened. He was mocking Bonzi's fist-pumping celebrations and made some interesting gestures. And I think Medvedev is acting out like this because this has just really been a horrible season for him. These are dark times if you're a Daniil Medvedev fan because he's only won one single match at a major this entire year. Last year, he won 18, I believe. And then also, he hasn't won a single title since Rome 2023. Honestly, with this match too, the way he lost this match, he might be truly cooked, like cooked. But yeah, you gotta praise Bonzi for still pulling out that win. What a huge effort. He could have easily gone away, but yeah, props to him for still finding a way. He definitely thoroughly deserved to win this match. And on the US Open crowd, I know there's going to be a little bit of a debate in the comment section of whether they're just totally unruly and classless and just a shame to the sport. But honestly, I kind of love it in a way. Like, they were out of hand, but I kind of love it because where else do you see this type of stuff? Like, this is the only tournament where you get this type of stuff. Roland Garros, maybe a second, not even a close second, but they're second. But US Open, really bar none when it comes to this type of stuff. The fans are something else. Now, moving over, talking about the other insane match we had in Alex Eala. She defeated world number 14 Clara Tauson 6-3, 2-6, 7-6 to become the first Filipino player, male or female, to win a slam singles match in the Open era. This match was absolutely insane. I could go into the tactics of how Alex did a great job of rushing Clara's forehand in the opening set, or how Tauson did a better job of protecting her second serve in set number 2, but just so much of this match came down to mental. It started in the first set with Clara complaining to the umpire about the crowd getting a little bit too excited and making some noise during the points. Honestly, the crowd wasn't that bad at this point. I think Clara was just frustrated with how the match was going, although the crowd, they were cheering her double faults later on in the match, so they were a little bit, a bit much. Tauson, she had the match on her racket when she led 5-1 in the deciding set with a double break lead, but credit definitely needs to be given to Eala for not throwing in the towel at this point. She conducted the crowd really and used them to her advantage and still got them invested even when she was down double break at 2-5. Yes, the crowd helped her, but without Eala, they wouldn't have been able to get behind her like that. It all started with her. Even when Clara tried to serve off the match at 5-2, the Danish woman was the one that looked like she was down 2-5. And she looked nervous and she really couldn't make a first serve to save her life. And Alex took full advantage. Now, there was a moment of drama at 4-5, 30-15, I believe. Alex, she rightfully won a point. It was she had a volley close to the net. But Tauson, she contested the point because she thought that Alex crossed her racket over the net, which she didn't. And Clara complained to the umpire for quite some time, and I really feel like she was just mad that she let that lead slip, and she was kind of unraveling. Alex won 5 games in a row from that 1-5 deficit, and she held her first match point at 6-5. And she ended up losing that game, and the 10-point match tiebreaker, which Alex won 13-11, was truly epic. Alex let 3 more match points slip, and I got nervous for her because I thought that we would have another moment where Alex could make history but lost, like in the Eastbourne final where I think she had match points 2 against Maya Joint. But I'm glad that she sealed the deal on her 5th chance. This was really utterly a beautiful moment, much more beautiful than the Bonzi Medvedev drama. And just Alex's reaction after her falling on the court, the tears, her hugging with the team, and her mom crying too, truly a lovely moment. And I have nothing but just I'm in total awe of Alex. She continues to be a trailblazer, and it's just something about Alex having her biggest career-defining wins so far on the U.S. hard courts. Congratulations, Alex. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, Alex was not the only woman who made history today, as 23-year-old Janice Tjen became the first Indonesian player since 2004 to win a slam singles main draw match when she upset 24th seed Veronika Kudermetova 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. Janice has gotten a few Ash Barty comparisons, which I kind of see with her forehand technique and slice backhand, but above all, this was a very impressive win. Kudermetova had been playing very well as she just made the Cincinnati semifinals, so that's low-key, a big win for her. Jen, she now plays Emma Raducanu, who scored her first U.S. Open win since she won the title 4 years ago. Raducanu defeated qualifier Ina Shibahara 6-1, 6-2. I had Emma make the quarterfinals, so I have her winning this next match with Jen as well, although there was a nice moment from Jen, I think in her comments after the match where she said she was inspired by Emma's 2021 qualies win. World number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, she has somewhat of a solid start to her title defense campaign. She got by Rebecca Masarova 7-5, 6-1 in an hour and 21 minutes. Sabs, she had a shaky start. She got down an early break, and I think she definitely was nervous or on edge, and she was for sure error prone. But I think once she was able to get that first set under her belt, she settled down and played a lot better. I think Tauson being knocked out gives Aryna more time to find her form and footing. And really, Aryna needed Eala to win that match because I think that Tauson definitely could have taken out Sabalenka. But I still think that Aryna needs to step it up. She gets Polina Kudermetova next in round 2, who pushed her to 3 sets in the Brisbane final. But I think that Aryna should still clear her. But but Sabalenka needs to watch out for Leylah Fernandez potentially in the third round, as Fernandez, she beat her at the U.S. Open here 4 years ago and is riding somewhat high on confidence winning the DC Open. 7th seed Jasmine Paolini, she was also tested in her opening round match by qualifier Destiny Yaeva, winning it 6-2, 7-6. Jasmine, she also needs to step her cookies up because she would be guaranteed a tough third round match as she'd face the winner of McCartney Kessler and Marketa Vondrousova, both of which I can see taking her out. The number 4 seed Jessica Pegula, she defeated Mayar Sharif 6-love, 6-4. A strong win for Pegula considering how she trailed Sharif 1-4 in the second set. She now plays Anna Blinkova, who beat Yulia Stardup-Seva 6-3, 6-1. According to Venus Golf, this is the start of Blinkova's title run, so Pegula might be in for an upset in round 2. You never know. Another American, Emma Navarro, survived in 2 tight sets, defeating China's Yafang Wang 7-6, 6-3. The first set was a struggle fest. It was about 72 minutes long, and Navarro saved 3 set points, so props to her for finding a way through. Definitely wasn't her best tennis, and she needed this win as she is defending semifinal points from last year. Emma, she also needs to step her cookies up as she faces compatriot Katie McNally, who I could see take her out if she does not indeed step her cookies up. Also, shout out to Moyuka Uchijima. Her comeback win got a little bit overshadowed by the Eala and Medvedev mayhem, but she saved 7 match points in her 7-6, 4-6, 7-6 win against Olga Danilovic. Talking more about the men's now, Novak Djokovic returned to the court for the first time since Wimbledon. The 4-time champ defeated American Clara Tauson 6-1, 7-6, 6-2. This was a pretty straightforward scoreline for the Joker, but Novak still brought the dramatics. This was a weird match, and I should have known it was going to be a weird one when Novak came out wearing this interesting raincoat jacket. He breezed through the opening set with little issue, and Novak, while he did play well, Tjen, he for sure seemed off and nervous, probably because this was his first match on Arthur Ashe Stadium. In the second set, Tjen settled in, and Novak struggled physically. He was hunched over, and he was also dealing with blisters, it seemed like. And Lerner had a set point at 5-4, but did not have that moxie to take it. And I still thought he could take it in the second set tiebreaker, but he flopped. And he also won the first game of the third set, breaking Djokovic. And I thought that he could still get it together here and still take a set. But once again, no, he did not have the moxie. And he only won one more game after that. Definitely a disappointing showing from Tjen, but maybe this will be a match he can learn from, along with his new coach, Michael Chang. Novak said after the match that this wasn't an injury, but he still has slight concerns. So I don't know if maybe physically he's not conditioned, as again this was his first match since Wimbledon, so he doesn't have the match reps right now, so that could be hurting him as well. All I gotta say is that Tiafoe 4th round upset pick is looking a little bit better right now. Now on the topic of Americans, the top ranked US men, Taylor Fritz and Ben Shelton, both earned comfortable straight sets wins over Emilio Nava and Ignacio Buse. Their compatriots Brandon Nakashima and Marcos Giron had to work a lot harder as they scored 5-set wins versus Jesper de Jong and Mariano Navone, respectively. Now, looking ahead to day 2, mixed doubles partners Madison Keys and Frances Tiafoe open play on Arthur Ashe, followed by Venus Mukova and Alcaraz Opelka at the night session. Mboko Krejcikova opens things on Armstrong, then you got Jack Draper, and then in the night session, you have Ruud and Andreeva Parks headlining action over there. That is all I have for this I'm speechless. Day 1 recap of the US Open, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I know the comment section is going to be wild, but give me all your thoughts. I'll try to reply to as many comments as I can, and let me know whether you think that Daniil Medvedev is indeed cooked. It's not looking good for him right now. That's all I know. And also let me know your thoughts on whether you think that he acted completely out of line and whether you feel like the US Open crowd also acted out of line in their behavior. Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post my Day 2 US Open recap. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.